Check it out. Looks like it's working. And don't tell me I leave the room and it starts working. Oh, man. Man, that's pretty cool. All right. Well, if it's going to work, let's talk. What y'all eating for lunch? I'll probably have oatmeal pie and some coffee. Who all's out there? Huh? Anyhow, I was talking about dog collars and the different types of dog collars. And I prefer like an inch and a half. And as a regular collar, like a double ply inch and a half collar. And I get mine. No, James. Finally, somebody to talk to. I was sitting there talking to myself like a crazy man. What's going on? My brother, Dixieline West. That's my man that runs Dixieline Kennels on the West Coast, James Orts. He's the official Dixieline Kennels West Coast. What's going on, brother? We got to get you suited back out with another dog here in the next year or two. Yes, sir. How's that young man of yours doing? Y'all got a big weekend planned? Damn, it looks like it locked up again. Did it lock up or are you there? Oh, no, it's working. What's the difference between nylon and polyurethane? I don't know, man. It sounds like a joke. Let's see here. I think nylon's an older procedure. Polyurethane's is a plastic made from, and we used to order from a company called Valhoma. And I don't know if they still make them. But man, that was a hell of a collar. They were really, really good. Oh, excuse me, that coffee gives me the burps. So really like a Valhoma collar. And then when it comes to setting the collar up, when you're putting them on a tie out, a lot of people buy these swivels. Let me see if I've got one in my desk drawer here. I collect rings. I've got rings and D rings and stuff from all over the place. You know what that means, collecting rings? Probably don't know what that means. Is it showing? Good. I collect rings. Like, I'll go to people's yards back in the day when I'd travel. And I get rings from them. That's a new one. I got a bunch of them out in the building. But just talking about setups, and a lot of people will take the ring and put it right through the collar. So you'll take that and put it right through the collar. Yeah, I like Andy stuff too, man. I like all this stuff. I mean, because it's being made by a dog, man. But I haven't seen one of his collars. Andy, send me a collar. Donald needs a collar from Canine Athletes. About 14 inches. I like O'Brien tried and true, but it would be kind of new. They made some new stuff. Yeah, it would be. I don't think you go get Ken to do anything new. You ever met him? So anyhow, they'll take that ring and they'll put it right through. And what happens is that metal wears against the dog's neck. And it's not a good idea. the best way to do it is, see, you got that D-ring that comes off the collar, and you want to hook that ring to that D-ring. And the best way to do that is take you a universal link and hook it like that, and then hook your D-ring like that. That way it's hooked to the collar, and you don't have that rubbing against the dog's neck. And then you got the fabric of the collar pulling on the dog's neck. You see what I'm saying? That way you're using the collar. I mean, would you like that rubbing on your neck all day? Anyhow, I know I wouldn't. I don't even like the seatbelt rubbing on my neck. But yeah, I collected rings for years. It was like one of my things. And like, there's a D ring. And I can tell you exactly where that D ring come from. And what I would do is, like, when I'd go visit people, and, you know, people are always like after memorabilia from people's dog yards. Well, you know, if you try to get the crate from Mountain Man, or the hat from Mountain Man, or the crate from Irish Jerry, or the leash from James Crenshaw, or any of that, they're not going to give you that stuff unless, you know. But I thought of something. I was like, well, what about the rings off the ends of the chains? What about getting an old dog ring? And so they were happy to give those up. And also, when we would go to old yards, like we would go to places where nobody had been in years and years, and you could go out there and kick around on the ground, and you could find rings on the ground. I got rings from Leo Kennard's yard. I got rings from Maurice Carver's yard. Of course, when I went to go visit people like Pat Perry and Bobby Hall and people like that, you know, I've got rings off the ground from their yards. And it's pretty cool. Live life. What's going on, buddy? How you doing this morning? So, but anyhow, but yeah, this one here come right from Lester Hughes's yard. And I just keep that one right there on my desk, man. Old Mountain Man. That was my buddy. I sure did miss old Lester. A good guy. He was a good guy. You know, but you know, you don't have to collect all that crazy stuff. You know, you can collect something simple. And collecting O-rings off of old Dogman's yards, that's a easy way to collect them. Man, we went to Leo Kennard's yard one time in Meridian, Mississippi. We found where he lived. We went to this restaurant in what do you use for water buckets? A plastic 5-gallon bucket to carry the water. I'm just kidding. I've got concrete water bowls. There's a place near me that sells all these concrete fixtures and figures and road stops and all this stuff. And they make a really nice concrete bowl that they've got a mold that they make them in. And they actually, I learned something interesting. When you make a concrete bowl, if you make your own mold, put it on a shaker table. When your mold is settling, put it on a shaker table, and the concrete will be smooth. So, like if you put it on top of something that'll vibrate the concrete, and just figure it out. And vibrate the concrete for at least an hour after you pour the concrete. So, but yeah, it's you know, use a concrete bowl and have it where it'll hold at least a gallon of water. You know, you want it where it'll hold at least a gallon and a half of water. Concrete bowls are the best thing for these dogs because they're not going to flip them over. And you know, the funny thing is, if you start them out with a concrete bowl where they don't flip them over and can't play with them, by the time they become an older dog and they realize they can't flip the bowl over, they don't end up playing with them. You know, a lot of times if you start dogs out with a bowl that they can push around and play with when it's empty, they create a bad habit of playing with their bowl. And you don't want that. You know, if you're going to give a dog toys, give them toys. But don't turn their food bowl and their water bowl into a toy. Because then when they get older and they use it as a toy, and you get upset about them dumping their water bowl all the time, well, you're the one that made their little water bowl a toy when they were a puppy. So whose fault is that? Don't get upset about your dog using his bowl as a toy if you made it a toy. Ugh, I need more coffee. That cup was getting a little weak. It had some sugar and cream still left on it from this morning. It's noon. It's time to switch to straight black coffee. Sorry for taking it off the subject because my pup just flipped her bowl. Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, you know, a weighted bowl. Exactly what I'm talking about, where they make it a toy. You know, they've got these weighted bowls that you can use, but something to stop them from playing with their bowl. Because how many dogs have you seen that play with their bowl, their food bowl, their water bowl? And we reinforce that when they're puppies by exactly what you just said, exactly what you just saw, and then get upset about it. Like it's the dog's fault. It's not the dog's fault. It's our fault as their owner. You know, remember, you're smarter than the dog. As soon as the dog starts outsmarting you, you're screwed. You are in big trouble. And the difference between a great dog man and the rest of them is that they're smarter than their dog. So average dog men are not smarter than their dog. Oh man, live life. What are you doing today? Huh? What's everybody out there doing today? How about if I do some t-shirts? Can I sell some t-shirts? I was thinking about coming up with some t-shirts, man. They're so damn expensive. You got to buy 100 of them just to start out. And man, you're talking about $2,000 just to buy 100 t-shirts. You checking on me? Well, how am I doing? Am I doing okay? You like my new haircut? Libo Molai. What's up, buddy? What's the word? I'm just hanging out today. Just thought I'd drop in. We're talking about dog collars and dog bowls. I appreciate it. Live life. Man, I tell you, the book's been selling good. The extra publicity that I've been getting on it through other people, I really appreciate it. I've been getting a flood of orders here. Things had slowed down a little bit, which was expected. You know, I figured it would just kind of turn into another eBay item and, you know, sell 3 or 4 a week here or there or whatever. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I sold what I wanted to sell off the break. And, but it's been good. I really appreciate it. Everybody that watches this video, it's just like one And that's why I do paperback, so I can send it into the prisons. And but it's really, really been going good. So thank you, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate the input. You know, feedback from everybody's great. You know, it's an open forum. You know, as long as people don't step into certain boundaries, they can write whatever they want. Of course, in here, live chat, they can say whatever they want. I don't have a moderator. And, you know, hit the damn like button, fellas. Hit the like button. Hit the bell. Hit the subscribe. We got to get 1,000 subscribers. Appreciate that, James. We got to get 1,000 subscribers so I can go live. I'm going to go out. See, I know where all the old dog people live. And, man, I'm going to go see them people and go pick it and go visit them. Man, we'll go see old Lester's grave. We'll go down and see Jack Kelly's widow. I go visit Irish Jerry. I mean, I can do regular videos too, though. But what I'm trying to do is talk one of these European dog people into coming over and going on a tour and sponsor the trip. And man, we rent a nice car and we go on a trip and go see those people. Oh yeah, you know it, Live Life. You know it. So I'm waiting for the Starlink, James. I've ordered it. I mean, you know, even before I had gotten that extra money from people for the fund, which, man, it's up to almost $200. Um, it might be at 200. I forgot what the update was last time. But I went ahead and ordered as far as Elon Musk would let you order. It's actually not available in my area yet. And but I'm on the list, and as soon as they let me send them more money to get on the system, we'll do that. Until then, the only thing we got is this, unless I bite the bullet and turn my DSL Wi-Fi back on, and I refuse to do that. I got into it with the phone company, and I am not doing it, man. So you're gonna stop and see if Cole. Yeah, I'm gonna stop in and see Evelyn and Cole. I definitely want to go see those guys. And really, they're the only people I know up there anymore. Hell, you know, Glenn Wise, he's dead. Ed Mullins, if I stop by to see him, I catch a charge. So we don't want to do that, do we? um, you know, I don't know anybody else up there. You know, when I went to Lester's funeral, I'll tell you a funny story. So we go to Lester's funeral, me and a buddy of mine, and we're out there in the parking lot, right? Got my cigarette, I'm out there smoking. Two cars pull up. And they pull up all the way on the other end of the parking lot, out in the corner. 4 or 5 guys get out of the 2 cars. One of them's got a dog. My buddy, he could see better than me. And he looks over there and he says, "Hey, isn't that Ed Farron?" And man, I kind of got a big old smile on my face. I said, "Come on, let's walk over there." And so I don't know if you've seen the pictures from that day, but I had on like my black hat and my black duster and black boots. And, you know, I was in cowboy funeral clothes. So we go walking over there, and they've got this little dog, and it's wagging its tail, and it's all happy and everything. And for some reason, because of all the black that I had on, it just freaked the dog out. And as I walked up, that little dog went down to the ground and just almost looked like it was shaking, like it just went, you know, like a skittish dog will do. It just went down to the ground and just like put its head and paws and everything down on the ground. And I looked down at that little dog and I said, "Don't worry, little buddy. We didn't bring one with us." all of Ed's friends started laughing and shit. Ed looked at me like, you motherfucker. But they didn't go to the funeral. They just showed up and hung out in the parking lot for a few minutes. And I was cordial with them. And they didn't go to the funeral. They just hung out in the parking lot for a few minutes and left. I still never figured that out. I've never talked to that sorry bastard since then. I mean, I haven't talked to Ed since then. So anyhow, but yeah, it was a funny story. Yeah. But we got more racing tonight. Went to the modified race last night. We got Xfinity racing tonight. And then, if it doesn't rain, if it rains, I'm just going to stay home and not go. No way I'm going to sit there in the rain and wait for them to dry the track and all that bullshit when I can just stay home and relax and watch them dry the track and watch it on big screen. I guess that's the advantage when you get free tickets. I've been going to the same racetrack since 1972, the Martinsville Speedway. And then tomorrow is the big race, is the Cup race. And that one runs at night. That's with the big guys, with Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano and Kyle Larson and Martin Truex, Denny Hamlin, and all that bunch. That's going to be a good race. You put 43 cars on a half-mile track, and they're pushing 700 horsepower, weighing 3,400 pounds. You see some crazy stuff happen. Didn't even give condolences to the family. They didn't even go inside. Nothing. Man, it was a weird deal when Lester died. Evelyn had put out a folder full of pictures that she had put together of Lester. And she told me this story when I got up there. I didn't get up there till the day of the funeral. I didn't go to the viewing or any of that stuff. I got up there the day of the burial. And but they had a viewing the day before. And the day before that, she had put a folder together of pictures. And all these people were over at the house. And somebody picked that folder of pictures up and stole it from her house. It was like all these dear pictures of Lester. And she didn't know who stole it. She said she thought who stole it. And so when they put the photographs up for Lester at his thing, there were very few dog pictures, because now she was in a rush trying to find photographs and really couldn't find any good pictures of Lester with his dogs because somebody stole the folder. Sorry motherfuckers, man. Sorry motherfuckers. And the suspects, Ed Farron came by there. Ed Mullins came by there. Several other people came by there. So somebody that knew what they were doing took it. Nice mystery. Who stole the folder full of Mountain Man pictures from his widow at his viewing at his house? Fucking nice people, man. And they're the same people that talk shit about all these other people. Read their stuff. And they never did a damn thing for the dogs, except fuck them up. That's right. I should have spoke about him at his funeral. They didn't even come into the building. But I got to speak at Lester's funeral, and I got to speak at Lou Colby's funeral. Two of the finest men I ever met. Both of them served for our country. Thank you, Lester and Lou Colby, for serving for America. God bless you both, man. Great, great, great man. Man. When I came home that day from his funeral, I never wore that hat again. I wore that day. It's hanging in my building. It's all covered in dust and dirt. I love that old man. And man, I can tell you some stuff about him. We used to travel. We'd go to shows together, and he would, me, him, Rastaman, and Larry Miller. We'd all load up and we'd go to Ricky's, or we'd ride up to Jackie Potter's, and Lester was a lot of fun. Hey, y'all go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell and hit the like button. We sure do appreciate it. I need 1,000 subscribers. I need to get on up there. Hey, James, we got a pretty good connection, huh? For the middle of the day. Oh, man. I need me a dog woman. James, you got to find me a dog woman out there. We're taking applications. Fat Bill's at stud. If you're a mature bitch, holla at me. We're not looking for no yearlings. We've done that. We're not looking for that. We're looking for something a little more mature. Somebody that's knows the ropes. I've been. Yep, we do. We do. That's the way we do it, ain't it, James? We like them experienced women. I don't want one that I got to tell them anything. I'd rather have one that's telling me shit to do. That's right. But nothing, not telling me what to do with my time. So you say, I curd out. How'd I cur out live life? Go ahead. I'm in the mood. Get it out of your system. Name one person. I'll give you 5 minutes. You get 5 minutes. That's such a stupid thing when people talk that shit. That I never told on anybody in my life for nothing, ever. And I'll just put it to you like this. You get one person to stand up and say I told on them. Just one person. Get them to come in here. See, live life. The thing is that you live your life telling people shit that you heard, shit that you read. Your whole yard is probably built on stuff that you heard and that you read. And stand up and say, Fat Bill told on me. Just one. I can get 18 people with grand jury testimony. Go to the National Archives. Go to the Criminal National Archives. Pull my case, and you will see attached all the shit from David Tan and Tom Garner where they testified against me. Pay the money, pull the fucking case. Philip William Reynolds versus the United States of America. Case was in August of 2000. The sentencing was in September of 2001. pull the case, post it. Yeah, man. You know, I mean, that's all I got to say about it. All them motherfuckers that talk all that shit, we know who they down with. We know what their program is. They're fucking followers, and they're crybabies. I'm right here. You know, I went to prison, and when I got there, man, I was treated like a fucking hero. As a matter of fact, I had to tone it down when I got in there because I got in the drug program where you're not allowed to glorify your criminal past. And I got in trouble 4 times in the program because of people coming up to me trying to get my autograph while I was in prison in the program. Uh, I mean, I'm not sure what that means, but if you're in prison and people are coming up trying to get your autograph, I don't think you were a fucking snitch. Anyhow, cocksuckers. Hey, Bill, I picked up a copy of your book from the post office last night. D-Lo. D-Lo, sorry, man. D-Lo and Bill. I appreciate it, Bill. But man, I put my heart in it. You know, there's a lot of between the lines stuff in there too. You know, I've had some people go, "Yeah, I read your book and this and that," but you gotta read it slow, and you gotta read it twice, maybe 3 times, because it's one of those books that if you read it as a beginner, well, I'll give you an example. Say like you read a Stratton book when you first get started, like the black book with what's that dog with no rods? Maud. I like that book of Stratton's with Maud on the front. And then you go back and you read that book 30 years later, 20 years later. There's a bunch of good dogs in that book that you don't realize who they are when you first get in the dogs. But then you go back and read that book again as a seasoned dog man. Man, there's a lot of great dogs in that book. Um, so it's the same thing with the Fat Bill book. Is that when you read it and you have knowledge, man, there's a lot in there. I mean, I tell you about a lot of stuff. It's okay, you sounded real, Bill. Glad you standing up, sir. It's okay, you sign up for it. Yeah, yeah, live life. You know, man. I understand you just repeating what you heard. You don't know nothing. So that's what all these people do, man. They just repeat what they heard and repeat what they saw. Man, I could show you articles of, you know, I it's just a long story, man. It's in the second book. You can read all about it. Old Family Red Nose. Well, I mean, as far as the game, when I was playing the game, the it's in the second book. You'll get to read all about it. I'll tell you what, man. Just give me $3,500 and I'll pull I'll pull the manuscript for you. You can read the whole grand jury testimony. That's what they want for it, to transcribe it. And you can read everybody's 2-hour grand jury testimony. Garner went in there for 2 hours. Jack Kelly went in there for 2 hours. Gambler went in there for 2 hours. Just go on to the judicial website and pull their grand jury testimony. I mean, it's available, and see what they had to say. I mean, if you're so interested in all that shit, it's available. It's all public record. All you got to do is do a Freedom of Information Act and just pay to have somebody transcribe it. Live life. It's not that I say so, motherfucker. Oh, and I really don't care what other people think. Apparently, if you can't tell that, man, you got a low IQ, son. I don't care. I'm just shooting the bullshit. Yeah, that's true. You're full of bullshit. You're about to get blocked. Oh, because I don't have to listen to this shit. I'm fucking Fat Bill, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. Bill. Yeah, man, you know it. You know it. And let's just pretend I'm the biggest rat in the world. Pretend there's the headline, Fat Bill testified. I'm not asking anybody to trust me for shit. Nothing. Nothing, man. I'm here just talking dogs. Man, you know, all I had to do was fucking talk. And I didn't have to do a day in jail. Not a single one. They offered it to me the day I went to get sentenced. They offered me probation in front of all my people while we were sitting in that little side room. You know what I did? Right there. Right there, man. But you wouldn't know anything about that live life. You wouldn't know anything about that. But once you finish living life, maybe you know something about being a grown man. Anyhow, we're not going to talk about this anymore because it's just bullshit, man. Yeah, man, I ain't the man. Shit, I'm just another dude. You know, that's the whole thing about me, man, is I'm just like you. Well, I ain't like you live life. And you're kind of fucked up. But I'm like old James right there, and I'm like Bill. I'm like Lebo Molai. Lebo Molai, let's talk about them red-nosed dogs. Oh, you got a beef, man. You know, when I was in the dogs, we didn't see a lot of those old family red-nosed dogs. You know, you'd hear about them, you'd see them in the ads and stuff. You know, you'd hear about the Norods, and you'd hear about the old family red-nosed dogs, but you wouldn't ever really see them. I can't remember ever seeing one. And as far as like I never saw Norod show a dog, and I never saw anybody um, uh, um, put one of them in a show. So I really couldn't tell you a whole lot about them. Oh yeah, I put Live Life in timeout for 300 seconds. Go ahead and give him a little time in the corner. Have I ever seen, man, these glasses? No, that's what I was saying. The Iron Line dogs, you know, I never seen any of them. I'm gonna go get me one more cup of coffee. Man, I love that Maxwell house. That's the good stuff right there, baby. That is the good stuff. Hi, Bill. How's it going? Hey, performance. Thanks for the info. I hear all the story about Iron Line's gambler. Well, you know, it seems like when they crossed it with that red boy, they now that was some stuff that Yankee boys got a hold of. That Iron Lines Gambler, that was Yankee Greg and all that bunch. But again, the pure stuff, the Iron Taffy, Iron Maud, Iron this, Iron. I never saw one. I mean, I never saw one in my life. ABBT, how's that Vegas sun? ABBT performance athletes. Hey, how you doing, performance athletes? Uncircumcised, what a name. Yeah, I got the same problem. I was born in England. Straight up white boy. Uncircumcised. Shit looks like a mole hanging off of there. Probably a little too much information there. So, but they're good looking dogs. I mean, one of the first dogs I ever liked was that NORAD's Maud dog on the cover of Stratton's book, that big red dog stretched out. I really liked her, man. It was a good looking bitch. You know, I'll bet it is hot out there. Shit. But you got air conditioning, good looking women, and weed. Shit. I could find a way to survive. Sure, I hope NORAD's handling all that shit he got into. I checked his Facebook page a couple weeks ago, and they really put the hammer to him over that shit. Had his dogs out there when that cold snap come through. Damn, that coffee. Had left his dogs out there in that extra cold weather when it was like 20 degrees below zero. And he was swapping his dogs in and out of the house. He would put some outside and some inside. And then he would swap them out again, some inside, some outside. And as he was swapping them in and out, somebody complained because it was 20 below zero. And man, they showed up at his house, and he's still fighting that. You know, it's a real mess for that man. If you get a chance, go to, I think it's Old Family Red Nose is the name of the website. Somebody wants to help me out with that on the chat and put up some information for NORAD. I believe he's taking donations to help with his legal fund. If I go off this page and try to go to the other page, the extra bandwidth will kill my signal. So I'm not going to do it. And looks like we got a few people in the room, about a dozen or so. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell and the thumbs up and all the good stuff, please. Trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Get your mama, your grandmama, get your dog, make up some fake accounts. What do I like best about the Pedro blood? Well, the best thing I like about it is that I got the real stuff. You know, there's a lot of fake Pedro blood out there. And you got to be careful. There you go, uncircumcised. Look up Iron Line Kennels on Facebook. And if you got some extra money, donate it to them. So the guy has gotten cleaned out, man. He had to sell his van. He had to sell his house or mortgage his house. He's had to do all kinds. Just read it. They really hammered that dude. You know, but the thing I like most about the Pedro blood is that I've got the Pedro blood. You know, I bred bitches directly to Pedro. I had dogs directly off of Pedro. And I didn't get my shit through Snake Man. I mean, let me tell y'all something about Snake Man. Be careful. He's back out on the scene right now. And somebody sent me a pedigree of a stud dog he's got called Gold Rush. And that dog has got hung papers on him. I mean, they hung like Sherman Williams put them on him. So be careful. But as far as the Pedro blood, you know, I had Bolero, who her mother was the runt dog, who was directly out of Pedro. Yeah, Mike is a good guy, man. He's a real good guy. He definitely don't deserve what he's going through. You know, the NORADs paid their dues and never did shit. They don't deserve the trouble that they're having. But I had the Bolero dog, which was a true granddaughter of Pedro, And, so now I've got that stacked in my pedigrees, and you can see Pedro in there now. I didn't inbreed off of Pedro himself, but the blood is so thick and so powerful that even though I didn't breed to any other Pedro dogs, like I didn't take my Bolero stuff and go breed to other Pedro dogs, you can still see it in there. It's a really strong blood. I like the Pedro dogs. Let's see here. NORAD. He also went on behalf of people who were being falsely accused of crimes to testify on their behalf. Oh yeah, man. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, man. Nothing wrong with NORAD. He's taking it like a man. You know, we'll just have to see how all that turns out. Anybody's got any money to donate and you're feeling generous, send it to the NORADs this week. Send him $100. It ain't gonna kill you, and it'll make him feel good. So, and if he's got a subscriber bell or any of that stuff, a like button, go over there and hit all that stuff too. And leave him a nice comment. Tell him you're praying for him, and then say a prayer. Athletes, do you prefer it tight or outcrossed? Well, the way I've been breeding is that I'll inbreed and line breed. I like son to mother, and I like son to daughter. I like father to daughter. Son to mother to me seems to capture the genes especially well. Um, Father to daughter also seems to capture the genes especially well. Especially when that daughter is from a father to mother, father back to mother. So I breed the father to the mother, and then I take a bitch out of that back to the father. So it's kind of a closed pedigree. You got the father, you got the male back to the mother, then you take a bitch out of that back to his daughter. And so I like that kind of inbreeding right there, and then line breed from that. Um, that seems to work good. But me, I'll find a breeding that works, and then I'll just make the same breeding over and over. Every 2-3 years. I don't really do a lot of experimenting. Um, Really, since 1994, when we brought I brought the Clemens Dick dog in 92, 93, but since 94, pretty much made the same breed over and over and over again. I mean, the dogs I've got here today and the dogs I had in 95, 96 are pretty much the same stuff. I mean, I've bred forward, of course, on the pedigrees, but it's the same type of breeding. It's line bred with the occasional inbreeding to retain the genes. And so, you know, as far as outcrossing, I'll make an outcross when it's needed or something interesting comes up. So, we brought the Dick dog in, which I considered him an outcross because he had no Bolero blood in him. That's what I call an outcross. So I can breed to an Eli dog, and I call that an outcross because it has zero Bolero blood. So that to me is an outcross. So like when I bred my Bolero stuff to Chinaman, that was an outcross. A lot of people would say, "Oh, that's line breeding or that's this or that," but I guess I call it whatever I want. Now, I've got a dog now that's a Billy dog. I don't know if you've heard of that stuff, but a friend of mine, I sent him a dog that was pure out of my blood, and I told him, I said, "Man, find something that's bred different." And so he went to Croatia and saw this guy named Zanetti DeVille, and he got a pup out of Fire My Guns and Villy. And then he raised that dog up to 3 years old, and he bred it to the dog he got from me, Cupid of the Forest. And that produced a dog named Arpeggio. And so the Arpeggio is out of Cupid. The Cupid is out of Clarence and Little Spetty. And Little Spetty is out of Cupid bred to is out of Clarence bred to his mother. And then we bred Cupid to um, a bitch called Quarterzero Negro, and she is right out of Villy and Fire My Guns. So the male that we got, Arpeggio, his grandfathers are Clarence and Villy. Now that's an outcross. That's an outcross. And I'm looking to maybe breed him into my females. And that would be like a quarter Villy, and then it would be 3/4 my stuff when I make the breed. So that's where I'm at on the outcross and inbreeding. All right. So that's my answer. They're pretty good. Over. Drinking coffee again. Am I still online? Did that work? Says I got 12 people online. Oh yeah, man. My buddy did good going to him. I just asked him to go get something different, and he's Russian and lives in France. And I figured he would. Oh yeah, I know, man. I got one. I got a dog. We got a dog right off of Villy. I mean, the dog, the bitch is her mother. Her father is Villy, and her mother is Fire My Guns. We still got the female. She's pure, right from Zanetti. And then we bred her to Cupid. Look it up online. Go to Google and Google Cupid of the Forest. Nah, man, Zanetti's from Croatia. I put a picture of him up on my Facebook page holding Villy, one that my boy took when he went to go breed when they made the breed. It's a long story, but see, the dog Fire My Guns, she was with another guy, and my buddy helped buy the dog so that he could get 2 pups. We actually got 2 pups out of the litter, but one of them died. I'll sit here watching something on my phone. I need a tablet or something up here next to the computer. Yeah, I like him Villy dogs. I wish I could throw the pedigree up, man. Somebody throw the pedigree up. See if I mess with anything, it'll kill my signal. Let's see if I can get it over here on this one. No, I better not. If I do anything, it'll kill my signal. I'm not going to kill my signal. But you can look up Cupid of the... let me try on this thing. Yeah, fuck it. I'll put it up on the Facebook page later. Yeah, it's Cupid. You can type in APBD pedigree on Google and then type in Cupid of the Forest. And then look at his offspring. Yup, Cupid. Like the little dude that flies around and shoots arrows in people. That's his name. So when he was born, his mother, little Spetty, my dogs, man, they have these small litters because we do all this inbreeding and line breeding. And I bred little Spetty to Clarence, and she didn't look pregnant. She didn't look like she was pregnant. And I was out of town when she had that puppy. And my wife at the time, she was out there feeding the dogs, and she goes over there to little Spetty, and she'd taken all her straw and pushed it up against the front of her doghouse and against the door to make a door against it. And my wife pushes the straw out of the way, and she had one puppy. And she's out there in the woods, and she had one little puppy. And she called me. I was out of town working. And she calls me, and she's like, "You're not going to believe this, but little Spetty had a baby." And when I came home, I go out there in the forest, and there he is, little old Cupid. And we brought him in the house, and she raised the little puppy. And then my friend came from Paris visiting, and we sent him home with him. Do you feel that a lot of the Ed Crenshaw blood is behind the Carver blood? Well, you look at those dogs, and Carver needed an outcross. I mean, we all need an outcross, and I'm sure he used some of it. But I mean, look at the access that Carver had. He had access to Tudor's yard. He had access to his own yard. I mean, watch the video that Mayfield put out in 1963. Maurice Carver had on his yard Trahan's Rascal and Black Widow. I mean, did you really need to use Ed Crenshaw's yard? And Crenshaw's said all that stuff after Carver was dead. He never said a word while Carver was alive. Carver openly bred to Crenshaw's Snow. I mean, I've got a handwritten pedigree where he bred to Snow, written by Carver. So, I mean, he didn't make it a secret when he bred to Crenshaw's dogs. So, I mean, the blood's in there. And now, was it successful? Did it work? How much of it's in there? I mean, I don't know. When I talked to Baker about it, Baker said that, the dogs he got from Carver were bred like Carver said they were. That Carver gave the real dog men the right dogs. And he said he gave the fans, what they wanted. That's right. He had access to everything. Renegade, what's going on, man? Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the the bell and the like and all the shit. What's going on today, Renegade? Where are you at? Where are you coming out of? Yeah, I got to do something about these glasses. This is my first pair of bifocals. And so, like, I can lean back here and I can see it. I can read it. Do you feel that a lot of Ed Crenshaw's blood is behind the Carver blood? And I lean forward and just kind of get comfortable. And man, it's hard to see with these things. It's got that progressive lens on it. And you got to like turn around looking with them. They look great. But man, trying to read with these things at a distance, it's you got to learn. Mississippi. Man, I love Mississippi. I like going down there in Biloxi and what's that place, Dolphin Island? Man, I love it down there. When I was a kid, my dad, we'd drive all the way down there from New York. We'd go on vacation down there. And I sure do like it. It's a nice place. Whole state